And we're live. What's up, fellas? This is Ryan with the DFS 5-pack. I'm here today to run through the overlay matchup stuff. So I'm going to do this video today because I had a couple requests for it. But I want to encourage you, if you want all the overlay stuff, follow me on Instagram. The link's below. I do a lot of quicker videos over there. If you had been following me already, you would have been able to take advantage of the Carson Wentz versus Russell Wilson pick when we had him down to point better. Can't always get onto YouTube as quickly as you can get onto Instagram where it can be done like that. So if you're really interested in those things, and this is something that you pay attention to, then go follow me on Instagram so we can get to them a little bit quicker and get the best information that way. They're just easy ones. Plus, we take negative subscriber hits to our YouTube channel when we do too many videos. So it's hard to do like a ton of them on here and not have it as an at-risk type of thing. So we'll still do overlay content on here, but there's plenty of it available on Instagram as well. Okay. Sorry about that. Just wanted to get that out there. Just wanted to stress how important it was. Don't forget, guys, we got a bunch of Cyber Monday specials up. You can check them out. Instagram, Twitter. I got YouTube videos up for them. Whatever works best for you. Come take advantage and join the team as we've been doing some nice winning over here with the NFL stuff lately. So the first pick, Russell Wilson against Carson Wentz. I mean, this was the one I liked a lot earlier in the day. I already got a decent amount set on this one, bigger than I normally go. Earlier in the day, we got Russell Wilson at a 6.5 as opposed to a 7.5. So by now, most of you know that it has been the Eagles' plan to go with a little more Jalen Hurts this week. And that's not like a gimmick play here and there. It sounds like he should see some decent run in this game. So Russell Wilson is already probably, somewhere between 5 to 10 points better than Carson Wentz. Seattle's pass defense has been pretty atrocious all year long, but they have shown signs of improvement. The addition of Carlos Dunlap, the fact that they are going to be a little bit more run heavy keeps Carson Wentz off the field. It does, however, of course, give Russell Wilson a little bit of a hit as well. I liked Wilson a lot at a 6.5. I don't like him as much at a 7.5. Of course I don't. It's a point more. I wouldn't put money down when I've already put my money down at a 6.5. But if you ask me to bet on this one right here, I would still go Russell Wilson. I think it's entirely plausible that Carson Wentz loses a decent amount of run tonight. And if he plays poorly, I think he's going to be the starter. But if Hurts plays well and Wentz plays poorly, he could lose a lot of run. Now, that's not necessarily something that we feel great about. But when we were already feeling pretty good about Russell Wilson just being the better fantasy quarterback on this one, I liked it a lot earlier in the day. I still prefer Russell Wilson over Carson Wentz. It's difficult, you know how it is, to make that bet later in the day. Next up, Metcalf versus Tyler Lockett. I do want to reiterate, this is a half-point PPR website. Give me DK Metcalf. I think they make a point to get him involved tonight. He's not like a matchup guy that I'm scared of. I know they got Darius Slay on the other end of things. It doesn't worry me in the slightest right here. Metcalf is coming off two of his games from a fantasy perspective. I think he gets going tonight. The 1 point is nominal, right? What are the odds that Lockett beats you by 1 point? It's possible, right? But it's just not a very likely scenario. It's basically like a pick 'em. So I'm going to go DK Metcalf on this one. Next up, Miles Sanders versus Boston Scott. So here's an intriguing one. I think you got to tell yourself a story in this game. If you think that Seattle gets up, then I think you got to like Boston Scott right here. 8.5 points is a lot. But under the idea that Seattle gets up, I think Boston Scott comes in as a little bit more of the scat back in the pass catching way, in which point, 8.5 points is a lot. It's a lot for Miles Sanders to overcome. Also, if Jalen Hurts is in the game, possible he takes a couple of QB scrambles down the goal line and lowers the ability of Miles Sanders to score a touchdown. Now, Sanders is a big play guy. He could definitely break one from 70 or 80. We've seen him do it a bunch of times already this year. So that's, a little bit of the fear you're going to have to live with on this one. But if it was up to me, give me Boston Scott. Next up, Goddard. So Travis Fulgham is coming off of back-to-back games with 1 catch for 8 yards. Those are both really bad performances. Now, he was targeted, I believe, 5 and 7 times in those games. They just weren't able to get anything completed. Give me Goddard. I get a point. I trust him more. Now that he's back and working with the guys over there, he is their best pass catcher, and I'm getting a point. Again, the point doesn't mean a ton, but I'll take it as opposed to give it. So give me Dallas Goedert in this one. Chris Carson versus Carlos Hyde. It's one of the tougher ones on the board for me. And what I mean by that is I don't know. Like, if I knew for sure Carson was going to run like a 4-1 split like he had been, I'd probably go with Carson. However, I don't know that. So this is the one that I'm least likely to bet. If I had to bet it, though, I'd still go with Chris Carson. But it's probably the lowest confidence of any of these for me, simply based on the fact that I just don't know what Seattle's game plan is. Back. Seattle's a playoff team. Probably going to play the long game. They are a better team when Chris Carson is in there. But Carlos Hyde ain't no scrub. I mean, the guy can play. And if he's running effectively, he could definitely get 5 to 10 points tonight. I mean, he's not a bad player at all. So this is one that I'm a little bit torn on. Gun to head, I go Chris Carson, but this is one that I'm least likely to put money on. And last up, Jalen Reagor versus Greg Ward Jr. I'm going to go with Reagor. I know he's going to be part of it. And even though last week Greg Ward Jr. was up there with Fulgham as far as the number of times he was out on the field, and it was Alshon Jeffrey who just did not get much of a look from these teams, I do think it's plausible that Alshon Jeffrey gets a little bit more of a run tonight from the Philadelphia Eagles. Plausible. Not for sure. Not guaranteed. He's got exactly 0 catches on the year, so there is no guarantee that he's out there, but he's plausible. You know that they like Reagor. He's a guy that is earmarked for the future right here. Ward is a guy that's filled in nicely. But for my money, he's the 4th best wide receiver on the team right now, even though Alshon's a little rummy on the tooth right there, but I still think he's a little bit better and can possibly see a few more routes run tonight. So just to recap, we got Russ, DK, Boston Scott, Dallas Goedert, Chris Carson, Greg Ward, or Jalen Reagor. In order of confidence, right now, give me Goddard, Russell Wilson, Metcalf, Boston Scott, Reagor, Chris Carson. Don't forget to click the thumbs up button, guys. Have yourselves a wonderful day, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow when we get an opportunity to review the Steelers versus Ravens game.